Hey guys, today Max and I were lucky enough to interview center Brady Burns, who currently plays on the St John CDawgs in the QMJHL, which is the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, which is in Canada. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so my first question is, why did you choose to go to the QMJHL?
Just growing up, being a Maritime kid, it's pretty cool going to the Q games and a lot of fans. It's a fun place to play, and it's the fastest way to the NHL. And I wanted to stay home, play close to my family, in front of all my friends and family. So it's definitely the path I was happy to choose in the end. So
Yeah, so like Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, like they all play in the QMJHL, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I could see why. Yeah, Max, your question?
How old were you when you first started playing hockey, and were your parents happy that you played hockey, or were they kind of into you playing a different sport?
Yeah, my dad was a hockey coach growing up, so I started playing hockey around 4. So it's kind of was always my passion growing up as a kid, and it's the game I love. So he definitely pushed me towards playing hockey, and I'm grateful for that because it's the game that I love to play. So it's always been in my blood since a kid.
Yeah.
That's cool. So how did you get onto the St. John CDawgs?
Well, during the draft a couple of years ago in Shawinigan, I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, but we went up there. I got injured when I was playing midget, so that was halfway through my draft year. So it was I got to play at the U16s for Nova Scotia before the draft, and then got to the draft. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen. I had a pretty good feeling it was going to be St. John, so it ended up being them, and I got to be there at 16, so it's pretty good.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
What have you been told, or by your agent, or by anyone, about the upcoming draft, and where are you planning to play afterwards after your draft?
I'm definitely going to be back in St. John for a couple more years, but I'm not really too sure what's going to happen with the draft. It's just kind of no one really knows right now. Obviously, there's kind of a little bit of a set date, but I'm not really too focused on that. It's just more the training aspect this summer, and I know I'll be back in St. John for 2 more years at least. So we're focused on winning here, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so far, how's your experience playing with the St. John CDawgs?
It's been really good. Obviously, we had a young team, and our first 2 years were kind of tough just because we had such a young core. And this year we finally made the playoffs. My first year, we were one of the 2 teams that didn't make it in. But this year, obviously, the season got canceled a little early, so I didn't get to get that playoff experience yet. But it's been really good, and we're gonna have a good group of guys next year, so it's an exciting year coming up.
Yeah. So far in your hockey career, what's been like the hardest jump for you? It's like puberty to bantam, midget to junior.
Probably stepping into junior. That just the play is so much bigger guys, faster. So it's definitely the biggest step in my hockey career so far. Just the speed and the size is definitely a huge eye opener when you make it to the league. So that's probably the biggest jump I'd had to make so far.
Yeah.
In the QMJHL, which team is always the hardest to play against for you?
Obviously in the Q, there's always teams are better some years and worse others, but I've only been in the league for 2 years, and I'd say the most consistent team to play against that plays hard would be Charlottetown. They're probably a team that has a certain style of play that makes it hard to play against, especially in their rank, and they're probably a team who has an identity of playing hard, hitting hockey, so it'd probably be them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you have any like superstitions or rituals that you do on game days?
Not really. I just try to focus on doing the same thing every day. It's kind of the same ritual whether we have school or not on the day of the game, but it's usually go home, do the things I do, and try to be the first guy at the rink. Usually get something to eat on the way to the rink is what I like to do, and then get to the rink. Not much to do when you're there that early, but it's just kind of sitting there trying to focus, stretch, whatever it is you got to do.
Yeah. Which teammate has helped you improve the most while you were with the CDawgs?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. Just I've played with a lot of guys, and I think there's been a lot of guys who've helped me improve as a player, and obviously the coach has proven to help me take a step. But I don't know if there's specifically one guy who's helped me a lot. I think there's a couple guys this year. Playing with Nick Gay was one, the captain at the start. Max Jajkovic, Josh Lawrence. There's a bunch of good players that we have, and they definitely helped me take a step in my game. Just playing with them makes you a better player. So there's a few guys for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. Outside of your professional career, what would you say is like your biggest accomplishment?
Probably making it to the Q so far was probably the biggest accomplishment for me. I think we have a lot more to accomplish in St. John, but so far just getting to play here and making it here is probably the thing that I value the most as a player.
Yeah. My next question is, which aspect of your playing do you think is like the best and you want to like improve on the least because you have other skills to work on?
Yeah, obviously just being a smaller guy, probably the things you're the best at are the things you got to keep working on, because when you're a smaller player, the things that make you good are the reasons you're good. So say if it's my hockey IQ, like you can't really work on that per se. It's just you're kind of born with it and thinking the game of how you think it. But I think my shot's more of a weakness now, but some of my strength are maybe my agility and my edging, and that's stuff that I got to keep working on because it's what makes me the player I am. So I got to make sure I'm staying on top of the things that makes me have an edge on different players, just so I can keep playing the game that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. What advice would you give to like a younger player trying to make it to like the next level, like A to double A or something like that?
Probably just focus on yourself as a player. I think a lot of young players get carried away of watching other players play and, oh, look at this guy. Like, everyone's going to grow different at different ages. People are going to be better when they're younger. Some are going to fade off. Some guys are going to get better as they get older. And you can't just lose confidence just at a young age, definitely around your guys' age. You just got to keep working, because guys are going to peak at different times. So you never know. You just got to keep working hard, and the good things will come.
Yeah. And like following up my previous question, what is one aspect of your playing that you want to improve on the most?
I think obviously skating is something everyone wants to improve on. So that's probably number one on my list. But I think I gotta try to develop more of a one-time shot. I think I have 38 goals so far since I've been playing. I don't think I've scored one off a one-timer. So I think having a one-timer is something you need in this league, and I think that would add 10 goals on for me as a player, just because I need to be ready for when the puck's coming, just a one-timer right away instead of taking those extra steps with it. And it's probably something that would help me a lot in the next season. So that's what I'm working on a lot.
Yeah, so it's like for me, like as a goalie, there are like some things which like I'm good at just naturally, but then there are others which I have to work like really hard to try to be good at, and like same for Max because he's also goalie.
Yeah. I've seen you wear number 12 so far. Is there like a special meaning behind that number, or?
I wouldn't say there's really a special meaning. I guess I was usually 20 growing up as a kid. That was always my number. When I got to midget, there was older guys, and the guy was already wearing 20, so 12 was one of the things open. And I think my midget season was really good, and I kind of just got a little superstitious and stick with that ever since midget. It's kind of been my number now. So
Yeah, that's really cool. So my next question is, what is your favorite moment with the St. John CDawgs?
probably clinching a playoff spot this year was a huge game for us. It was pretty exciting because a lot of us didn't have playoff experience in the team, and it was a big step for us, all knowing that we were going to be in the playoffs. It was pretty cool when we clinched that game. It was a big game, but obviously we didn't get to playoffs. But we all know that we should have been there just since we clinched. But next year is going to be a huge step, so we're going to try to be a top team in the league.
Yeah.
As a shorter forward, how do you keep up with the taller ones and still are able to outperform them?
I think you just got to keep moving your feet always. I don't think it really matters. Sometimes smaller guys being tough smaller, but there's really no disadvantage if you just keep moving your feet and keep your head up and try to make plays. You just gotta be quicker than them and try to get lower in the battles and that type of thing. So I don't think there's really that much of a disadvantage being a little bit of a smaller guy, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. My next question is, when did you realize that that you might be drafted in the NHL next in this upcoming draft, whenever it will be?
Probably when I started a little bit through my 16-year-old year, I kind of figured that I was starting to have a little bit of a chance that could happen, just with everything going on, just that I showed I can play at the level and kind of prove myself to everyone. And then when this year kicked in halfway through, I thought there was a pretty good chance, and I don't know what will happen now. Just second half, I wasn't very satisfied with it, but who knows what will happen now? It's out of my hands, so there's no more hockey to be played. So I just got to wait it out, and who knows what will happen. So
Yeah.
Do you find that playing AAA in your early to mid-teens kind of helped you with where you are now?
Yeah, I'd say it probably helped. Playing the highest level you can is always what you want. Sometimes it's good to be at a lower level, playing more minutes, because that's going to help you develop. But if you think you can be a good player in that league and you want to be there and you want to play the highest you always can as a player, no matter what it takes, you want to be up there. But obviously, if you can't be on the top team, it's not going to hurt your development to get more opportunity as a younger player and get more minutes. That will definitely help you in the long run too. So
Yeah. And growing up, what is your favorite NHL team, and who's your favorite player in the NHL, or who was in the NHL, or anything like that?
Yeah, just growing up, it was always the Penguins. I'm from Nova Scotia, 50 minutes down the road from Crosby, so he was my favorite player too. So it was pretty cool watching up when they won. Growing up, watching them win 3 cups was pretty special for me, just because I was a huge Crosby fan. It was pretty cool to watch. So
Yeah, I'm a Rangers fan. Max is a Bruins fan, and he usually throws jokes at me.
My last question is, what was it like wearing an A on your jersey for the Wildcats?
Yeah, that was pretty cool, just being a rookie in the league and getting to show leadership, and obviously means something to you, just knowing that you're looked at as a leader from your coach, and it's cool just to show that your leadership's paying off. And it's something I didn't really worry about too much, but you just got to sit there and play your game, and every team's going to have their captains, and it's pretty cool to get that recognition as a leader, and it's something I value in my game, is trying to be a leader in the room. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think this is like our last questions. Max, do you have like any other questions that you want to ask? All right. So again, thank you very much for letting us interview. This was a blast.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck in trying in the QMJHL and all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right.